Looking good. Rotate the command capsule 117 degrees. Adjust right thruster 4 Gs. Looking good. Back up. Oh. Hey. Welcome to the basement. We are going to respond to your first reading today. Well, I'm sure that's fine. Whatever that was. Your response is going to be turned in the same place that you find this video, which is 6.4 Freedom to Read, response number 1, cast list. At this point, you should be done with 1/4 of your text. Should have read a bunch of it over the weekend, and you should be at about 25% of the way through. Of course, you had freedom here. You got to decide how many pages you were going to have read by today, and that doesn't necessarily have to match 25%. Plus, if you've fallen short by today, there's really no way for me to check because I'm not reading the same text you are. I don't even have the text in front of me. So if what you're going to do today is maybe play some catch up so that you can make today's response possible, that might be on the menu of what you need to do. I do have a couple of you out there who haven't even picked a book yet, so you're definitely catching up today. These responses are the way that I check that you are reading a novel on your own, but they don't necessarily end up being attached to any page numbers. They're just going to be rolled out at times where this particular assignment would make sense for how far into the novel I think you are based on what I have assigned. Before we take a look at the response, just a reminder about the reading calendar, such as it is, since it is all on you. The next reading assignment, so halfway through the text, is due on Thursday. So already take a look at your Wednesday, your targeted instruction day, and think about when during that day can you get some big chunks of reading done so that you get close to halfway through the text or whatever you picked for yourself for Thursday. This is going to move pretty quick. We only have May to get it done. So now that you have started your text, should be about 25%, you've met some characters. So let's get those characters solidified in our heads because you have 75% of the text to go, and anytime they come onto the screen of your mind, you're going to want to remember who they are. And if you think about the text that we have read this year, there's a lot of ways that some texts maybe worked better than others. I'm thinking Gatsby here. Gatsby probably, every time Gatsby came on the screen of your mind, you probably saw Leonardo DiCaprio. That was a pretty good casting on the part of the casting director. Whether or not we like the modern interpretation of Gatsby that Baz Luhrmann gave us, Leo's a pretty good casting. And I personally, not everyone agrees with this, but I like Tobey Maguire as Nick as well. And so when I read Gatsby now, I still return to the original text, but I'm always casting Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire in my head. Makes it a more fun read because those actors are my mind. They're my minds to control. If that makes any sense. So you're going to do that for your text, which you can do no matter what text that you have. If you have poetry, for example, you could cast the author of the poems as not the original author, but someone else, so you can imagine that speaker's voice. If you have a nonfiction text, you can recast real people with actors so that you have a heightened version. The core of this is really going to be to write down some essential characters and some of those characters' behaviors and physical characteristics. Those are the things that show me details and thus shows me that you're reading. But as a reader, for me, I'm actually not a very good reader. It helps me to have a cast list. One of my favorite things to do is when a movie is released for a text that I haven't read yet, to not watch the movie, but watch the trailer and then go read the novel with those actors and actresses. I may never watch the movie, but it really helps me to imagine what the characters might look like, because I don't make up people in my mind very well. So I like to borrow actors and actresses as little mind puppets. That sounds terrible, but it works. So let's take a look at what that looks like. It's going to be a little IMDb page. Everyone has been made a fresh copy, and so there are some things that will have to be changed to match just your text alone. So the title of the movie is going to be changed to the title of your text. You're directing this, so you get to put your name in there, and the writer should be the author of the original text. For each character that you can find, and I'm going to suggest 5 would be a good minimum. And if you need to insert a row, I did this by right-clicking, or it can be done in the insert menu under table. You can add more rows this way as well, but to make sure it goes inside the table, it makes sense to right-click, insert a row below every time you need a new character. I'm going to let you grab pictures of your cast, and no citation is needed because this is a note-taking exercise. You're not turning this in as graded work. Not this part anyways. This part's going to be graded over here because you need to be responding, but we're thinking about building our own reading tool. And if you're building a reading tool for yourself, no citation needed for the pictures that you're putting here. Replace this column with the name of your actor, actress, or whatever. If you want to throw cartoon characters or real people in there as well, you very much can. Just make sure it's not real classmates or real teachers or someone that you could be considered making fun of by putting them there. But if you want to choose another public figure like a president or something, that's fair game. And then these bullet points underneath the character name, this will be the character that you're doing a write-up for, should be the behaviors and physical attributes in the novel description that justifies why you chose this actor, actress, or thing to play the part in the theater of your mind. I'm going to show you an example. I do this with my junior students with Chronicle of a Death Foretold, a novel that has a huge cast of characters. And so you can see we did this as a group project. They threw all sorts of things in there, including characters that have more than one age check-in, more than one time that we see the character on screen, if you will. They did double casting so they can imagine the character both young and old. You can see they threw Lizzo and Family Guy characters in here, so it's pretty fair game. It's for you. What's the important part? Look at all those text details that those junior English students put in to make sure that they were remembering the details that the author used to describe his important characters, and then we'd have a reference point for the rest of the unit for you to use in any future discussions of your free choice novel. Okay, well, that sound means it must be time for you to get to work on these activities, and I'm gonna head back up to the space station and clean up the mess that I made. Have a wonderful Monday.